Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Yeah, this is not my usual setup. I'm trying this whole selfie stick thing out. Uh, wow, I'm a Nigerian, first and foremost. And as such, everything that affects Nigeria affects me. When Nigeria and Nigerians suffer alike, I suffer too. And it's not an exaggeration how much I have been touched by the sufferings of many Nigerians. I think if we're being sincere with ourselves, we'll come to realize that the recent vocabulary for most Nigerians has been the increment of dollar and the exchange rate between pounds, sterling, and naira. I've always been of the school of thought that when naira depreciates this much, I don't get involved in the mechanism of sending money home and piling it up because it just shows that naira is gone. So I can continue to be part of that whole machinery to continue to bring the naira down. Yeah, spare me. I don't know much about the way money works, but I know money is magic, man. Central bank and the bankers, it's all magic. They just make money out of nowhere, thin air, from your own money and stuff like that, interest rates and stuff. Well, I'm not going to stand here and say I'm an expert. What I'm trying to say is these are desperate times in Nigeria, and it calls for desperate actions as well. It calls for calculated actions as well. It calls for sober reflection, and it calls for people who with the wherewithal to take charge of the situation and do things. Our problems that we're currently facing in Nigeria might not be really internal. They might be external, as in they might be influenced externally by the IMF, World Bank, and other money institutions outside of Nigeria. And it could just be due to sheer incompetence of those we've elected to manage our affairs and those who are in charge of our monetary institutions. Could be crass ignorance of all of that, combination of all of that. But one thing that we know, one thing that's quite universal in all of this wahala in Nigeria is that the suffering is one. The suffering cannot be compared to old times, Gone are the days where people say the good old days. They can't point to the good old days now. It's really bad. The suffering is really bad because of the tales we hear. But I'm not of the school of thought that all blame should rest at Tinubu's door. No, not really. Because this has been a long time coming. It's not just because Tinubu became president and now our economy is going down. No, it's been a lack of preparation for decades. It's been the lack of investment in infrastructure for decades. It's been the lack of investment in education for decades. I'm talking hundreds of years. It's been no, let's not even go too far. Let's call it the last 50 years. It's been the lack of investment in child education, in healthcare and all of that. So we've had a false sort of sense, a sense of good economy, so to speak. So one part of Nigeria is booming and everybody thinks we're all in luxury. This is what I kept saying. We hear people scream Nigeria to the world when one of us win Grammy or won some MTV award. And I'll say, if these are the indices that you use to measure development, when the wahala come, we'll go here and hot well, because the indices to measure development is quite different from people shaking their asses and musicians winning awards. But anyway, I deviate a bit. What I'm trying to say here is this. Nigeria current quagmire has been a long time in the making. It's been failures of successive governments from the central to the very local. Because I ain't going to stand here or walk here and blame Tinubu. What about your councillor? What about your local chairman? What about your governor? What about your House of Rep, your Senate? All of these different facets of the government are to blame as well as Tinubu, But it's been coming. It's been a long time coming. There's no planning. We don't plan. We don't invest. There's a lot of unemployment in the society. And it's not because, there are no jobs being created. It's a combination of no jobs are being created, and also a combination of we don't have the ready skilled workforce. I've said this and I've asked these questions before, and people think, oh, he likes to talk, he likes to hear his voice. No, I remember I had a constructive conversation with those people who call themselves obedient. I said, Obi is going to come. Okay, great. And if Obi really got to do what he said he was going to do, how many of the skilled workforce do we have to bring about Obi's dream? It was pipe dream for all of them. And most of them couldn't come back to me. Let him come first and do what he want to do. You know, that was it. I thought, no, there's need for ready skilled workforce for them to put into plan and action what Obi's visions were. Well, being the so-called recalcitrant people we are, we thought, no. It's all about big talk for us. Even the Obi could not tell us what he would have done different. Until we take care of issues like that, man, nobody's going to come lead us out of this trouble. And it's a shame that we're not seeing this. It's been coming for a long time. And I was just sharing with somebody this morning. I said, look, these are the signs to show that we're going. I remember when Nigerians would laugh at the Zimbabweans during the Mugabe era, saying, oh, they're using wheelbarrow loads of their money to go buy a loaf of bread. I remember always saying, my brother, we're not different. The only reason we're not seeing this is because we're in our country, we're not seeing it properly with a clear eyes. If you were outside of Nigeria, having a clear bird's eye view, you will see clearly that we're not different from Ghana. We're not different from Zimbabwe or any of the failing economy in Africa. What are the indices that we have that we measure these things by? We don't have a free market. We don't let the market control prices. We rule by edicts in that country. The president said this is what is happening. Petrol subsidy ends this minute. That woman who bought a bag of rice yesterday is going to increase it by 10 times. That's how we run things. So we're not like really a structured society. That's why things like this happen. Also, at the bottom is rotten. The top is rotten. There's a lot of hoarding going on at the top. I don't know why they're hoarding. It's not going to get them anywhere. And the bottom is just equally rotten. You know, the little mama put who was selling her rice 5 naira yesterday. The same rice, the same place she bought it, the same rice, the same product. She's increased it to 20 naira today. And you want to blame Tinubu for that? No, it's been our system, our society. It's been a long time coming. You know, things are tough in London, don't get me wrong. The bottle of olive oil that I would normally buy was £1 something, and it crept up to £1.99. In Lidl and in Sainsbury, it was about £2.49. The last time I went a couple of days ago, it was £7.90. I had to make a choice and say, you know what? I'm going to get some flour and use that for the frying, and get my olive oil and just use it to marinate my salad and stuff. Not that we do a lot of frying. You know, I had to make that decision. But when it happens like this, there are palliatives that the government's put in place, incentives that they put in place to cushion all of this for those who are hard hit. I don't get anything from the British government. I'm on TV saying it. I earn a lot and I pay my taxes. Although the money I earn is not enough, but I don't get nothing. I can't claim child tax credit or working tax credit or any other work benefit because I earn more than the threshold. So I don't benefit from it. I understand that. I prefer to work and earn well than to go below my current salary because I want to benefit from that. But what I'm trying to say, those who are not up to my threshold, they get support. So they don't feel the pinch, as tough as England is. But when you get the president of Nigeria making edits, making statements, and there are no palliatives to cushion it for the people down there, it becomes really tough. And I've been saying this, the uprisings will not really come from the ordinary Nigerians, except it comes from the northerners. And people ask me why. I said, look at you guys. Yoruba for them is Owambe. The Igbo man, everybody want to be the next Ezeago or Cubana. Nobody really cares. All they just do is make noise. It's the only Hausa people that, those people from the north, whether they're Hausa or Fulanese, they're the only ones so organized or disorganized that can destabilize our nation. And I'm afraid if they pick up arms, if they pick up sticks and stones, that country will not be able to hold them. Trust me. Because they don't have a leader who will just tell them this. They don't do that. They just come out and they destroy everything in their path. They're the only ones who can do it. So when they start feeling the hunger, Nigeria go, yeah, the pain. Oh. What am I trying to say? Yeah, I might be ranting. I might not be making any sense. There is suffering in the land. President Tinubu, you can't tell me that there are no incentives that you can put in place to cushion all of the suffering for Nigerians. I'm not about short-termism. I'm about long-termism. In the long term, things will be glorious. But if we don't put the right plans in place today, forget those glory days. They ain't gonna come. So in the meantime, put some incentives in place, because you can't tell me that you continue to spend so much in traveling, extra codes for you and your team, and it goes down through the Senate, House of Rep, and the governors and the local government chairman, wasting a lot of resources. In that wastage, please spare some for the people down there. You know, if you have enough to waste at the top for all those frivolous trips that you guys make and items that you purchase, you can do so for the people at the bottom. So that's all my cry. In all of this, I'm about long-termism, and it's going to be glory days, but if we don't plan now, if we don't put short-term actions in place now, we won't be sure of that long-term greatness. Trust me. Well, it's been Joe Speaks TV. Joe Speaks, a God, big speaker. And I hope that I've said what I want to say loud and clear. Let's have that conversation. Thank you.